Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you the space tag side. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hide rooms so they don't get in the way, and then hide room tags as well. All the way down, so I can add the space and the spaces in, and they're gone. And I'm just going to delete this legend so it's not there. So spaces basically work the same way as a room tag, where if I click on the space, you'll see that there, it works just like a room tag where it does, the actual boundaries will abide in boundaries. Um, and then you can see here, like all those properties where it starts to talk about like condition type, if it's heated, what space type it is, construction type, and all that stuff. It's airflow that it may need, um, how high the space actually is. And this kind of properties that I had that are here, I actually talk about in tutorial I, specifically the ones that are on heating and cooling load analysis, and it talks about all that information and how to set it up. This one I'm just going to stick with the tag inside of it, kind of like what I did for the room one. And then you can look. I forgot to mention, like I didn't show in the last one, but when you do a room tag, they're not visible, but like when you do a room tag, you can see that there's not much really to it as compared to the space tag, where you kind of just get height and stuff like that, and area, and volume, but not really the space side of it with like energy and everything like that. So that's why I recommend using the space tag, just because it gives you the same stuff with area and everything, but it also gives you more that's going to be needed for the heat and cooling load analysis and energy analysis. So space tag works. Spaces work the same. You can put them in, but you notice that a tag isn't coming in. And I think the first time that you hit space, it may ask you to load a tag. And I did that before when I wasn't recording. So that's why it wasn't coming up. But you can see here there's an option for a space tag, just like there was to put a room tag. If you ever deleted one, it's the same thing for space tag. And you can see this is what it'll ask you when you first put in a space. It'll say no space tag is loaded. You hit yes, go to annotations, mechanical, and then space tag. Loads into space tag, and then now you can click all the spaces. So it's basically, it looks just like a room tag, except it's a space tag. And then you can see you can have the same functions there. If you hit edit type, you can, and this is why I say use a space tag, because it's basically a room tag where you can uncheck the number, you can show area or volume, whatever you want. I'm going to leave the number checked for now. Now you can edit the family, and then you can change, like you can see here, these are what are called labels, and you can create a new label for something else. So like you could see, if I go back, like for a space, and this actually goes for rooms as well. You can do the same thing. You can click on the room tag and hit edit family. But like if I click on a space, you can see I can add stuff. It's not on this, but like you can see like space type or something like that. I could add, if I wanted to, I could add another label that's for space type. And then like if you go to edit labels, you can see like parameters. I can do space type and put it in, and it'll show space type as well. But that gets really into the technical side of it, and it's working with parameters and stuff, which are very difficult to comprehend right away. You really got to kind of know Revit before you can start working with parameters and get everything set up from scratch, or kind of edit stuff with parameters like the space tag. But like if you do want the space tag, you could edit, if you don't like that font, you can see here you can't edit font. So if you wanted to edit font, you can go to Edit Family, click on this tag, and that's where you can start to edit the font. And that's the same for room tag. You can edit font that way as well. So that's the space tag, and then for spaces, as I created a schedule for rooms, you can create a schedule for spaces as well. So if you find spaces, you can create the schedule for them, and then it kind of works the same way, but you can do a whole bunch more stuff. And I actually show a detailed space schedule in the tutorial I for the heating and cooling loads, because you can do all types of stuff. You can see everything that you can get for it. Name and number are the most important for this purpose. Space type you can add. And then there's actually stuff for like return error and see like calculated cooling load and stuff like that you're going to want to add in for the heating and cooling load part. And again, that's something that I talk about in that tutorial. Calculated supply airflow, how much airflow you're going to need and stuff like that. So you can click OK. And actually, I forgot to group them by still sorting. So I'm actually going to group by number. And I guess by number. So those are the spaces. So if I go back to that plan, I can name this. Say if it's Office 1, and then this one I was doing as storage. This one was Office 2, Office 3, and then this was lobby. And the other kind of cool thing that you can kind of see, and the space schedule comes in handy, is what I'm going to show you in the heating and cooling load tutorial on how to set up spaces, like all this space type and construction type. You can click on each space and do it, but if you have that as something in the space schedule, you can just go to that space and just click here and do it from here. So it makes it a little bit more easier than trying to have to click into every single space, because a lot of times when you have furniture and stuff going on, sometimes it can be hard to find that actual space. But so again, this works the same, whereas I can click on this, and if I have the split screen views, it'll actually highlight the room for me. So if you have generic names and you're starting to add in your space type, you can do this, and you can click on that, like, oh, it's that room, and then you can do it space type, and then you can see what the area, and it's calculated the number of people. So if this is an office, I can actually click on this, and again, this is something that I go into more detail with when I get to the heat and cooling load. But you can see I can click on office, so when I click on these, all these numbers are different. Now the one thing that you do want to note, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the heating and cooling load tutorial, but I want to mention it here. So if I click on office, you can see this area per person is 215. These actually don't match what's in the code, and I believe the code actually says 100 per person for an office or open plan, and you can see the difference. So that's something that you want to take into consideration and adjust, and then that'll update the area per person, and then that's used to actually calculate the number of people that can be in the space as well. But again, that's something that I believe I do mention it in the heating and cooling load tutorial. And then again, actually, let me first show you the legend. Again, the legend is the same way to do it. You click on the color, go to Analyze tab, click on the color fill legend, click anywhere to place it, and then you can, once it's in, you can switch, and you can see here. You remember the first time I put the color fill legend in, it asked for if it was room, space, or anything like that, or HVAC zone. Once you put one in, it won't ask it because you can keep like one legend for a space and then switch it between the different ones. So you can see here, you can go to category and switch the spaces, and then you can do a different kind of thing here. But here you start to see the spaces, and then you can click OK. And then now the spaces start to fill. If I go back to scheme, and then you can see here the color. It can be by name. You can do it by space type if you want to start to group stuff. If everything's an office, and then building support or staircase is another one that you had set up for, and I can do that now. So if I go to storage, I'm actually going to go to the room schedule. So lobby, well, I'll say this one is office. Close. This one is office and closed. And then storage, if you click on that, I think there is one for storage. Maybe not. Alright. Common activity, no, not could be that one. I'll just say that one for this purpose. Well, let me see. I know there's like one for actual storage. You can see that this list is very long. So there's a whole bunch of different things. I'll pick that one for now. And then the lobby, I'll pick as the actual lobby. I'll just do regular lobby. So now you can see when I go back to that level, and if I edit this scheme and switch this color by space type, that's when it kind of did it like how we did the department by for the room name, we did it by department, so it would group kind of like the same offices. You can do the same thing with space type, and then you can see here it comes, it starts to come in like that. This, not sure. See, you really can't change the name of that to say like building support. I think there is probably a way around it. That's something that we can kind of look into to see. If I go back to this, yeah, you can't do duplicates or anything like that. But there's other things that you can group that type of legend by. So again, you could do it by, you can leave it as the name. So obviously, like if you want to do it this way, you can leave it by the name and then just pick the same color, for all the offices. So it ends up being the same color. I wonder if you can group. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so you could just change the all the colors of the office, so they're like that, if you want, and then kind of create your own legend. You can like hide this and create your own legend if you need to. So you can actually name it, the actual stuff that you want, and you don't have like Office 1, Office 2, Office 3. You can just do Office. But if you play around with this type here, and all the different things that you can sort by, you probably could find a way where you can set it up the right way. Then again, you can rename the legend, and then this works the same way for room tags, where if you go to the view edit visibility, you can turn off space tags, which are under annotation space tags, and then under here as well, the model category, you'll see spaces that you can turn off. So you can see I turned off spaces. And that's it for this tutorial.